Hi, it's Lena, and I want to address why you can't stop eating. If you're one of the people who feel like you can never leave the table unless you've completely finished your plate and maybe everybody else's plate, and if you feel like it's probably completely a myth that people are able to just eat one piece of chocolate and then not finish the whole bar, and if you feel like people must be lying when they say that they only eat one cookie and then they're good for the rest of the night, this video is for you. As an eating disorder recovery coach, I work with a lot of people who feel like they simply cannot trust themselves around food. They feel like they can just eat and eat and eat and eat and eat, and sometimes they're eating like 10 times as much as some of their friends or family, and they feel really ashamed about it, and maybe they struggle with binge eating also. And the question is, why can't I stop eating? So first of all, I want to start by saying that you're not alone. A lot of people feel this way, and I was one of those people as well. I was always eating, like I was able to eat so much more than my friends and my family, and people would like judge me and be weird about it because I was judging myself and I was being weird about it myself. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's just never gonna be this point for me where I reach this feeling of I've had enough, I'm satiated, like it's okay to stop eating. For me, it was always flip-flopping between, like stuffing myself and then feeling terrible and running to restriction and trying to make up for it by not eating anything. And then eventually I would end up back where I was before, and if I would eat, I could only ever overeat. And so maybe you can relate to that. Maybe you feel like when you eat, you always overeat and you always end up feeling stuffed. So let's have a look at why that is. So I want you to stop overcomplicating the issue and asking yourself what is wrong with you and like why everybody else is so different. Let's just focus on you and let's just make it as simple as possible. What could possibly be the reason that you feel like you can't get enough of something? It may be that you just need a lot of that thing, right? Seems pretty simple. Like let's say if you're really dehydrated and you come across some water, you may drink a lot of water, a lot more water than you would normally drink because you have like an elevated need for it because you haven't had it for a while. So you're just making up for not having had your need for hydration met by just drinking a lot more than you normally would, and then eventually you balance back out and you go back to just drinking normally. Somehow with food, we feel like this is the wrong way to go. We feel like even though maybe we've been starving ourselves for years and we've been actually under eating because we're like trying to tell ourselves, no, you've had enough. I've had enough, it's okay, I can stop eating. But maybe we haven't, maybe we still need more of that, and maybe we actually just need food. And you may say like, well, that's kind of funny because I always overeat and so clearly I have enough food in my system. But do you though? Because if between you overeating at one point and at another point you actually restrict yourself and you try to eat as little as possible, then you're not fulfilling your need for food properly, and so the moment you have the chance to fulfill that, you just go overboard because it's not really up to you. In that moment, it's really your body taking over and taking what it actually needs. People usually tend to just jump straight to making themselves wrong, making their hunger wrong, making their desire for more food wrong, making the overeating wrong, but they're not looking at the actual problem. And in like 99% of all cases, the real problem that caused the overeating was actually the undereating that then like elevated the need for food, and so now you just like need a lot of food. So really, why can't you stop eating? Because likely you're not eating enough, and so you just need more and more and more and more and more. But you just need to commit once in your life to actually always feeding your body exactly as much as it is asking for. And that can be a lot of food for a little while if you've been starving it for a while. And so you just kind of have to come to terms with that. But the beauty is that as you actually feed your body, there comes a point where this feeling of I've had enough is actually reinstated. And I remember like hitting that point in my recovery, and I couldn't even believe it when it happened, because I was like, I didn't know this was even a possibility for me. I didn't think people meant it when they said they can just only eat one of something. But like, I've been at that point for a long time now, and it's very real. It's very real, but it took a lot of food for me to get there. It took me eating a lot more food than I thought that I needed, but surrendering to me actually needing that food. And it may just be the very same thing for you. Now, of course, there's also an emotional component in this, and we can take this a lot deeper, and we can look at other areas in your life where you may not feel enough, and you feel like you always have to do more and more and more and more and more. And that's important, and something to definitely work with and look at, but I'm not going to go into it in this video just because it's already kind of long. I did write an Instagram post on it, so if you just want to click on my Insta in the description box below, you can have a look at that there. I'll link the direct post. Okay, so that's it. I hope that you found this video helpful. I hope that you realize that you overeating all of the time may actually just be a sign that you are not eating enough. And so your problem could be so much more simple than you being inherently twisted or something. It may just be that you haven't been eating enough, and so now it's time for you to step up your food game and to eat your way out of having to overeat. If you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and if you would like to see more videos like this. And as always, if you feel like you're struggling in your recovery and something's just not clicking in, I do offer one-on-one recovery coaching, so I also have a link to that in the description box below for you to check out. And I'm going to let you go now, and I'll see you soon in another video. Bye!